Start. My name is Autavia, and today I'll be doing a demonstration speech on how to prepare for baby.
My name is Reginald Gabriel.
My name is Francis Alexander.
My name is Brian Smith.
My name is Yolanda Allen.
My name is Joe.
Okay, so today I'll be demonstrating this, giving out some tips on how to prepare for baby. The first step, important step that I would say in preparing for a baby is to making sure that you are registered, you and your baby, at the hospital, to make sure that insurance and everything that's included is covered. Another step that I would recommend in preparing for baby is to get a book called 101, which is basically 101 questions that any mom or new mom would like to read through, and it answers almost any and every question that you may have when going through your pregnancy and after your pregnancy. Some questions in there you may see is like, women ask like, why my elbows or part of my neck is a different color, and it just gives an explanation of how the melatonin works in the body when you're pregnant. Another step that I would say in preparing for a baby is getting like a little booklet, and in that booklet you can put in like how your baby's progressing, and as well you can put in notes on like important things like after you have the baby, like the weight, the height, and who showed up and what gifts you had. A little book that I had when I was getting ready to have my daughter Brianna, it's this little book here, and I got this as a gift at a baby shower, and this basically starts at the birth of the baby and goes until they're about 2 to 3 years. And basically you can put in here, you can put pictures in here, and it has a page where you can put like who is the father and the mom and like the date and time, and it has a place where you can put the bracelet and stuff like that from when you have the child. And then it just goes on to like the family history and stuff like that. And another important page that I thought that was really helpful when you're pregnant is just to have this page here on what you got at the baby shower. That way you won't get multiple things of the same thing, like, you know, buying the breastfeeding pillows and stuff like that. So it just goes basically over stuff that you need and have and got for the baby. And then you have a place where you can put pictures, and here you see pictures I put of my baby when she was first born, and it just goes into like what major events were happening and stuff like that. So this book here is just like a little book to help you look back on when your baby was born and stuff like that. Another tip is to go to mayoclinic.com, and there you can find like a list of the top 10 things that you would need to do in preparing for a baby. As well, it states that in preparing for a baby, you need to make sure after the pregnancy, when you're going home, that you have enough help and that the baby room is set up and things like that. So it goes over like little tips on how to stay organized and what you should pack in the bag and things like that. Another website is www.yourbaby.com, and that website it lists the top 10 things that should be in your hospital bag, and you should always have that bag prepared and ready to go, and you should have like put that bag together at least 3 to 4 months before the baby comes, because you never know what could happen in the last trimester. And in that bag you should have your clothing at least for 3 days, as well as the baby clothing, any toiletries that you may need, any cameras, camcorders that you may need. As well, you should put in there any material that you would like to read up on, any important insurance paper that you may need for the hospital. As well, put in any important numbers that you may need for the baby or for yourself. So that's another thing that's really important when preparing for a baby. As well, I would say another important tip when preparing for a baby is just making sure that you're comfortable, and if you are anxious, there are clinics throughout that helps with that, and also as well there's classes that you can take. And that's another tip that Mayo Clinic gives, is if you're going to be a first-time mom or you're very anxious about your pregnancy, to go to a new mom's class, and there they give you tips on how to relax and how to just go with the ease and not be so anxious, because they can cause health issues and problems when the baby is being born. So those are some tips and some things that I took on when I first had my child, and just some things I like to pass on, and basically just demonstrating on, you know, preparing for a baby. It's not easy, it's not hard, but with all the help that they have out there on the internet and as well as classes, you can get through it and be well prepared for your baby. So again, I do thank you again. My name is Autavia Alexander, and I'm just giving some tips and just demonstrating this, through this little booklet on how to prepare for a baby. So if you have any questions, just go right ahead.
Go ahead, Brad.
Okay, yes.
You say it was supposed to be 10 things in the bag. Should you get the bag ready, like toward the end of the pregnancy? And should do like a big bag packed full of what else should be in the bag?
Okay, so basically you should prepare the bag at least, from what the book says in meal plan, at least like 3 to 4 months before the baby comes, because in the last trimester, anything can happen. And like when I had my son, he came like a week. I was supposed to have him on Wednesday, I had him Sunday, and I already had the bag and stuff together. So you should have at least 3 outfits for the baby, 3 outfits for the mom, camera, camcorder, copy of the insurance, copy of the mom and dad's social, and let's see what else. All your toiletries that the mom may need, like any of her like favorite snacks and stuff like that. Just make sure you have everything in the bag, so she won't have to go home. Well, the dad won't have to go home for anything, just in case something happens. And always pack your own slippers, because they give you slipper socks, but there's a risk of falling with those things. So just enough stuff for the mom to be comfortable. Okay, Reginald, you had a question?
You pretty well.
Oh, okay. Francis, you have a question?
Yeah, should we bring an extra milk bottle for the baby?
Yeah, that is recommended. If you have a special type of bottle that you want to use for your baby, and especially if you have like a different type of milk, then you're more than, depending on the hospital, you have to let the hospital know you can bring your own milk, your own bottles, and stuff like that. And sometimes they have that stuff there, all depending on what type of bottle you're going to be using.
Supposed to be gonna breastfeed. Should we bring our breast pump?
Yes, because there they have lactation nurses, and they can teach you the proper way to breastfeed and to pump properly. Joe, do you have any questions?
I have a question about how many pounds does the baby have to be in order for them not to come home?
You mean for the baby not to come home?
Yeah, well, you know, is there a weight limit?
Well, I'm not a doctor, so I wouldn't know. I just know as long as the baby is in healthy status and it's breathing right and eating right, then they should come home. I know they don't let babies come home if they haven't reached the 40-week limit. These babies have to do 40 weeks into term before they're able to come home. So they come like 2 or 3 weeks early, and they have to stay at the hospital.
Okay, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to stay at the hospital.
They come early.
Yeah, they come early, and they're big. They still have to wait the 40-week term and make sure they're checked out and stuff like that. So.
Where can I get the baby book?
You can get the baby book at your local Barnes & Noble, like your local Walmart. I went to, there's a place called Northwest Pregnancy here in Houston, and it's off of 249, and has everything there about babies and all types of little goodies that you can go in there and get. So you can go in there and get the book, and then they give you a little box, and they fill it with all type of stuff when you and the baby come home. So, yeah. Any other questions?
I have another question for the soon after you bring the baby home, how often do you give them a little bath? Like, do you give them one as soon as they come home, or?
Well, again, I'm not a doctor, but I know from my experience, you don't actually like bathe the baby until the umbilical cord falls off. So you give them like a wash off, like in this little plastic tube.
A damn towel.
Yeah, with a damn towel, you wipe around the umbilical cord, but you don't submerge them in water. Yeah, you have to wait till the umbilical cord falls off. And that's also in the baby book, because some moms, they don't know when to give the baby a bath or how often to feed them. And with me, the baby's crying and they're not wanting to go to sleep, you feed them and put a little syrup in the bottle. Yeah, that's about it that I do. So.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, my name is Autavia Alexander, and today's demonstration was Bring It Home Baby. Thank you all for listening, and see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.